Hey guys, what's up? So today I'm gonna show how to get to level 15 for fighting Saglord. I'm gonna go on a little bit of a journey here. Also, if you want to see specifically what build I'm using, pause the video whenever, because I'm doing commentary after I've recorded this. So I'm not showing the tutorial because the tutorial is the same for everyone, and we're outside of Olex because you can't solo before Olex. You can do this with a party, but obviously the XP gain will be slower, so the main problem about that is you're not going to get Dimension Door, and you need, to do this, you need some class to cast Dimension Door to get into the Lich without having the key, which you only get in Act 5. So we're going with Monk and Imperial Sorcerer. Imperial Sorcerer is kind of a must to do this because it's wisdom based and wisdom gives you high perception. I mean, with a lot of reloading, you can definitely do this with a class that's not wisdom based, but this saves you reloading. I actually spotted the Dragon Slayer first try without reloading, going exactly this route. I don't know if it was guaranteed to spot or if I just got lucky, but I think it was like 10% fair chance at the max. So Vanish and Expeditious Retreat are really useful, not really for the run I'm doing since I'm not doing last Atlanti mode. But you can do this on unfair and on last Atlanti mode. You might get unlucky and die, but it's definitely possible to do it. That's why I started as a monk, just for people who wanna get like the unfair achievement or even last Atlanti. Starting as a monk makes you very tanky, even on unfair. And starting as a Plumekiss Azima makes you gives you invisibility. I mean, it also makes you very tanky because it gives you Dex and Wisdom, but okay, let's pause here real quick. Sorry, video's going a little quick for me. So skill focus perception is a must-have. As I said, what class you play and so on and so forth. It's not necessary to go with what I'm going, but you definitely need skill focus perception for this, especially if you're not going wisdom based. If you're going wisdom based, this makes it very easy without reloading to spot a Thuliak's lair. And also, to understand how this run works, why are you even able to go to the Lich and to Thuliak's lair in Act 1, what we're about to see here is crossing the fog with the help of the rest button. So if you press R, if you haven't changed like your settings or your controls, then pressing the R button will open your resting screen. So once you see the pop-up, I'm going to pause it real quick so it doesn't go too quick. You press your rest immediately after the random encounter pops up. If you have Cheat Engine install, or if you have Cheat Engine open to speed up your game, is what I did in this video, so it's not super long. You probably want to disable it for this because it might go too quickly and you might not be able to press all the buttons. But yeah, you press R, you have a little bit of time to press R, but not too much time. You have to very quickly press escape and very quickly press space. You don't have that much time for those two. So that's why I paused the video just to show it. And this will still open, but you just close it with like the last option. And boom, you cross the fog. And yeah, now we're just going to Varnhold to grab the Heart of Iron Necklace. And yeah, if I'm going too fast for like builds, once again, I just repeat it, just pause the video if you don't see what I'm taking. And yeah, it's not necessary to take every of the stuff, but I'm gonna say what's necessary, and as I already said, it's necessary to take skill focus perception, and if you're playing on last Atlanti, you will need expeditious retreat and vanish. And as soon as you can get invisibility, you'll need invisibility. But you also have the invisibility from the is it called Plumquist? I don't even know what it's called, but the Azima, the lowest, like if you select Azima and you go to selecting your race, it's the lowest of all of them, and it gives you dexterity, wisdom, and it gives you invisibility. So if you play last Atlanti and you can't reload when a random encounter pops up, ideally what you want to do depends if the enemies are melee only or if they are ranged. It's really dangerous. If they're ranged, they might just interrupt your cast. But yeah, if they're ranged, you want to cast Invis immediately and hope that they don't interrupt you. So it's a little bit hard on last Atlanti, definitely. It might take some luck to get it through, but if the enemies are melee, it should be really easy. Just cast Expeditious Retreat, run away from them, and then cast Invis. And that way, if you fail, like, hiding from them with the Invis, you can just keep running away until you automatically stealth. So yeah, once we have the Heart of Ira necklace, we can do whatever we want to, because right now Heart of Ira is busted, and Heart of Ira will not aggro enemies if you are in stealth, or sometimes you don't even need to be in stealth. If you're at like max distance from the enemies, just close enough to them that the Heart of Ira hits them. Yeah, they will not aggro, they will not realize that they're attacked. So these two things, if they ever get fixed, skipping over Fog Wall with the rest button, rest escape space, and Heart of Ira not aggroing enemies from stealth or from max distance, if it ever gets fixed, then obviously this won't work anymore. But the game has been out for a couple of months, and I'm pretty sure while the devs might not be aware of skipping the fog, I don't know, what do I know? So they might not have fixed it because they're not aware of it. I'm pretty sure by now a lot of people have complained about Heart of Ira, and it didn't get fixed. So I would at least be surprised if it gets fixed. So the first place we need to go to on this run, the first enemy we have to kill with Heart of Ira is Country Road, because A, it's some juicy XP, but that's not why we're doing it. The most important thing why we're doing this is we get a helmet with +5 perception, which will help us spot the Dragon Slayer. Like basically, we want to go for big targets with lots of XP. So the Dragon is 138,000 XP, and the Lich is 500,000 XP. We don't want to kill every single enemy in the game with Heart of Ira. That's probably the most boring thing you could ever do, because it just takes forever. So here I turn on cheat engine, not to cheat or anything, just so the game goes faster and this kill doesn't take 10,000 years. It's not required to do that if you don't want to use cheat engine. Just go and make yourself a coffee. Like, as long as you quick save before you approach the enemy, as long as you're in stealth or even invis, nothing is gonna happen to you. You don't need to watch your screen and like count the damage or something. And there we go. Golem is gone. We get some more perception by leveling up. Also, we probably get invis at level 3. I'm not sure. But yeah, for those on last Atlanti, it's really helpful if you have more than one cast invis. I mean, you can always rest after you used it. But for me, since I'm not done this on last Atlanti, because it would probably take a couple of attempts to actually work. Just reload whenever there's a random encounter. I just try to keep quick saving while I'm traveling on the map, like mash the quick save button, and whenever there's a random encounter, just press the reload button. Boom. That's the easiest way to do this for several reasons. First of all, reloading a quick save, the loading screen for reloading a quick save is much quicker than the loading screen for loading a random encounter. And second of all, if you want to run away from this random encounter, you have to get lucky and not get killed while you do it. So, yeah, you might just do all that work for nothing. So yeah, there's a helmet with perception, +5 perception, pretty nice perception for level 4, 22 perception. Once again, because we're wisdom based, we're Imperial Sorcerer, we're Monk. The Monk isn't required to do this at all. But on unfair, it's really helpful for like the tutorial, the early game, whatever. And even for late game. On unfair, it's just helpful to have one level in monk and being wisdom based. Yeah, here I make a mistake and didn't quick save, so that's what I was talking about. And the problem is you can't load unless you quick load, and because my last save was an auto save, I had to like go into the random encounter instead of quick saving. Always try to avoid, of course, because you might just get lucky and can avoid it, but otherwise just press your F8 button, and yeah, don't forget to F5 every now and then. I typically do it whenever I like moved a little bit. Like that, boom, quick save. And the next place we're going to is the Shrewish Gulch. Now the Shrewish Gulch is interesting because you could just cheat your way to max level here. Because this skill check is kind of busted. If you fail it, you can just close and boom, it will be there again. Which isn't the main point, but if you succeed... We're not going to do that here, but I'm going to show it off. So let's first level up. We'll make the skill check a little bit easier. 30 perception will give us like 23 with the item bonuses. And yeah, if you want to pick like feats and stuff I'm picking, go ahead and do it. I'm trying to pick stuff that's mildly useful, but this is not a build guide. And as I said, you can do this with other classes. But if you want to see what I'm picking and if I'm going too fast, just pause the video. But yeah, required, once again, pick invisibility right here, right now. Don't embarrass me, thank you. So that's helpful, definitely. And of course, skill focus perception is absolutely needed. And being wisdom based is highly useful. Putting points into perception every level is highly useful. And yeah, now I'm just showing the glitch real quick. So if you paused my XP, you saw my XP, I showed the XP before this, which was like 15k, and now it's 19k. So even though we leveled up, there you go, 15k. So you can just keep doing this if you don't mind cheating. But then again, you might just use cheat engine. What this would be useful for, though, is a speedrun. If you do like any percent speedrun, it's definitely legit to go to Shrewish Gulch and just go to max level. But I don't know if that's really a good idea in a speedrun. Like, you don't really need max level if you play on normal. And most speedruns are normal and not on unfair. Well, I mean, most games don't have an unfair mode to begin with, right? So now we're trying to go to the Ornate Ruins, and there's another of the 4 enemies we have to kill. Once again, you wouldn't want to kill like every enemy in the game with Heart of Ira. That's why we're going for these high value targets. This one just mainly so we can pretty much almost guaranteed spot El Zuliak's lair. This one doesn't really have any items that we need. Like the other golem had the perception helmet, and obviously we went to Warnote for Heart of Ira. But yeah, just some extra XP, some extra perception. And yeah, go ahead, make yourself a coffee while this is going. There we go. Loot the golem anyway. I think the weapon you get here is super expensive. It's a +5 weapon, so you can probably sell that for a pretty penny. We're gonna go Arcane Trickster. That's why I put points into mobility, and now I'm gonna put into Arcana. Arcane Trickster is pretty nice. You can do this with a Kineticist as well, which is probably by far the strongest class in the game right now. If you get to high level, you can't do the Lich with the Kineticist because the Lich doesn't get Dimension Door. That's why I'm showing this with an Imperial Sorcerer, because they get Dimension Door, so I get to maximize this method, they get to be level 15 without too much time investment. I mean, it's like half an hour time investment, so it's a little bit of investment. Now we just need a vivisectionist level and we will be good for Arcane Trickster. And yeah, the feats, I'm just trying to pick something that's useful. It's not a build guide once again. The only thing that's needed is skill-focused perception, pretty much. Even the inverse, the expeditious retreat, all that stuff isn't necessarily needed. It will help you a lot though if you go to kill the Lich, because with the combination of expeditious retreat and inverse, you can pretty much bypass all the enemies without fighting, and then you can like fight them after if you want to. I mean, you don't have to, but you'll be level 15, so you can just kill them with like your Hellfire race or whatever, because yeah, that's what you're gonna get at level 15. And yeah, if I pick stuff like maximize, if I pick stuff like quicken and extend, you don't really have to pick that. If you want to pick like maximize and empower, will make your Hellfire race even stronger, of course. So that's why I'm saying it's not necessary to pick what I'm picking. Oh, also, what you can see here, I'm not gonna do it, but you can absolutely go to Rushlight Tournament. Boom, Rushlight on the map. It will work, and it will not screw up your story at all. But there's a lot of good items at Rushlight, and the Ring of Circumstances works now. It's not bugged anymore as it used to be. So since Rushlight becomes unavailable after you went there, you probably don't want to go there until you have at least enough money for the Ring of Circumstances, and maybe a little more so you can buy whatever else you want to buy. But yeah, you do not have to wait till Act 5 to go there at all. And yeah, I'm a little bit lost here right now, trying to go into the mountains, and I missed the passage. Sorry about that. And yeah, you might want to quick save before you get too close to Ulthuliak's lair if you don't spot it immediately. I got kind of lucky there. But another thing you can do, especially if you're on last Atlanti and you don't want to reload, is you can go to the Castle of Knives, and there's a lot of poisonous fly traps there, and they're 5.7k XP each. So you can level to level 8. We're at level 7 right now, but you can level to level 8 and get even more perception. Also, you get a second chance at the check without reloading. So that's quite nice. And here with the traps, definitely minimalist approach. Their trickery check is quite high. Just get one trap out of the way. You don't even need to get it out of the way. You can just let the acid fog go away. But they're 500 XP each, and I'm just reloading for it. And after you level up here, you get like several levels, so you can get a lot of trickery again, and it should be really easy to not having to reload on the rest of the traps. Yeah, the second to last enemy you need to kill. Like, you only need to kill these 4 enemies. Is it even 4? Yeah, 4. So you kill the golem with the perception helmet. You kill the golem, the golden golem, just for the XP, because it's 20k, so it's quite a lot. You kill this dragon and you kill the lich. It's very short time investment. It's a little bit more than the half an hour of the video, because I edited out the loading screens, which, by the way, I'm bad at editing. That's why you sometimes see all those pixels. Sorry about that. And it's probably less time wasted than if you were playing on unfair and you'd be doing Act 1 without this high XP on unfair and you have to reload a lot. It's probably lower time investment. Some people don't like to do cheese like this. Like from principle, I get these people in my stream who are like, how can you even do this? It's evil. You should hang and rot in hell because you do this. So for those kind of people, it's probably not the right video, but you probably wouldn't have searched for a video like this just to bash me for being an evil person. And yeah, we get the nice +8 belt out of this. This is kind of cool. Also, it's not just the XP you get +8 to all your stats, because the Lich will also give you the +8 to the mental stats. And you get the +7 braces here, but you get the +8 from the Lich. So for 3 item slots, you get the best item in the game. Perception isn't really needed any higher from this point on, but it's honestly quite useful. Just keep going perception. I went with 14 intellect. As you can see, I started with 13 intellect, so I could get 20 in both dex and wisdom. This way we lose... I don't think you actually lose the skill points. You get them back when you get the 14 perception at level 4. So yeah, it's a pretty good starting thing. 20 dex, 20 wisdom. The 7 con is bad about the start. If you're not doing tutorial on unfair, definitely start with like 8 con and 14 int and just start with 19 either wisdom or dex. But the reason why I showed the 7 con and like max dex and wisdom is so I wanted the build to be better on unfair tutorial, even though I didn't actually like show the tutorial. But Monk with 20 wisdom and 20 dex can do unfair tutorial pretty well. Like, he doesn't do the damage because I chose crane style and dodge as the starting things, and I didn't choose weapon finesse because it's not needed for the build later on. But the thing is, you can just use Lindsay and Tartuccio for CC and do... Like, you can sneak past the first encounter with the 3 bandits, which is a little bit hard on unfair. You can also do that encounter, of course, but you might get unlucky. But if you're on last Atlanti, you can just sneak by it with the Azima invisibility. And yeah, pick Dimension Door. So as I said, this is not a build guide, but stuff like that's important. Pick Dimension Door, because without Dimension Door you won't get to the Lich before Act 5. And from this point on, because we have Arcane Trickster, we get 4 skill points each level. I just put them in Persuasion and use Magic Device, the extra 2. Always go Perception and Trickery, just makes your life easier. But the Persuasion and use Magic Device is preference. I feel like Law Arcana could also be good, or like Knowledge World or whatever, because sometimes there's really high skill checks with that, and you probably get more XP out of those than out of the Persuasion checks. But the thing is, the Persuasion checks are pretty frequent. That's why I went with Persuasion. And yeah, that's that part of the... You might have to reload for this chest, so quick save before opening it. But there's nothing special in the chest. There's like some Invis potions, which we don't need because we already have Invis spell. And some gold, I guess. You don't need to kill the goblins in this cave because they don't give XP. I mean, some of them died as collateral damage, but... And yeah, here we're back. So I'm not showing all of Lonely Barrow, but you can see I killed the bandits in the middle room and I killed the skeletons in the middle room. You don't need to do that. What I'm showing right here, you can do that during the whole dungeon if you have Expeditious, Retreat, and Invis, and you move very carefully. Don't get too close to the skeletons. Then you can totally Invis past all of the enemies in here. But in the middle room, you have to pass it several times, and the enemies stand in a way that you can hit all of them with Heart of Ira at once. So I cleared out that room just with Heart of Ira. I could have used my spells, obviously, but I'm lazy. And the thing is, after you level from the Lich, you will be so powerful that killing all these enemies is pretty easy. You get Hellfire Rays, for example. So yeah. And yeah, this is already the last part of the video. So not much point in me talking a lot more. Go in that left corner to use the Dimension Door. That's the only place where you can use it as far as I know. And aim for that light area there. You see that one area is a little bit lighter than the rest. And yeah, have Invis when you teleport in here. You don't need Invis to kill the Lich. I mean, you might just recast it again. We have like the one Azima Invis and we have 5 uses of a Sorcerer Invis left because we only used one. But you don't even need to sneak. You just need to be right at the edge when Heart of Ira hits him. You will see that my Invis will actually wear off and I'm not on stealth and he's still not gonna aggro. But yeah, that's kind of risky. You can just recast Invis before the fight if you want to. It's just not necessary. If you're not too close to him. Of course, if you're too close to him, he will spot you and absolutely demolish your ass. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Level 15 before even fighting the Stag Lord or anyone, before even going to Sycamore Tree, Bandit Camp, whatever. But over half an hour time investment. As I said, it's a little bit longer than the video because I edited out the loading screens, but it should be like 4 or 5 minutes longer. And that's it from me. I'll just show you my level up and then the video will end. Might take a couple of more minutes because I'm really slow at leveling. And yeah, you don't have to pick what I'm picking. Pick Hellfire Ray though. You've got max stacks, pick Hellfire Ray. It's OP. So that's it from me. Sorry for all the talking and I'll see you guys around.